Hey, how's it going? Am working in telemarketing again. I've been doing telemarketing for a long time. I have very poor coordination and I don't like getting up and walking around. But I only have a ninth grade formal education. Christine bought me a PhD from a FACO diploma mill called Riverbanks University. And the dean's name, we talked to the dean on the phone. His name was Jorge, and she gave him $800, and he gave me this PhD. He sent the records, blah blah blah. It was incredible. It really was. Because at first he pretends to say, "Well, what are your husband's accomplishments?" And then she mentions that I've been published a few times, blah blah. So he gave me a PhD in English history, and I'm extremely proud of it. I have it. If you put Riverbanks University and fraud into Google, you get a lot of interesting stuff. But that's okay. But when I was in my late teens, I was on the bus and I saw somebody I got stoned with, and he told me he was working for Time Life Books. And at Time Life Books, what he was doing was calling like senile old people up and selling them these horrible histories, these histories of old people, these histories, I mean, they're not old people, but of militaries and wars and presidents. And I've seen these books where people would throw them out after they read them. I mean, they were hardcover, but they were like magazines in a sense. And I looked at them. They weren't terrible, but I guess, but they weren't, certainly you don't really, you can go to the library and get a better book. But I got involved in telemarketing. I remember the first big thing I did. I was working for what's it called? It was the United International Union of Police Associations, and I was going through the phone book and selling tickets to the policeman's ball. And the thing is, nobody wanted to go to the policeman's ball, but you get a sticker showing you supported your local police or your police, and apparently, if you have that sticker or fraternal order of police, which I guess was their competition, maybe a cop would think twice before he gave you a ticket. I don't know. Um, and I sold magazine subscriptions. That's rough, man. I mean, convincing again old people that they should resubscribe to TV Guide in the time of the internet is staggering. Or Smithsonian Magazine. I mean, just picking a magazine up is more work than we want to do. And I worked for a consumer magazine, calling up people who had bought the magazine and telling them we needed more money from them, you know, so we wouldn't have to put ads in. And I get these long debates with people. Oh, you could have ads. A few ads would be all right. And I was like, just give me the money. And I quit telemarketing for a long time. I didn't enjoy it. When I was young, I did because it was a really good drug addict thing. You could work your ass off and you'd make a bunch of money, and they would give you your bonuses in ones and fives, and you could go and party it up. But I stopped being a party guy, and then I did a bunch of other jobs. But now that I'm here in North Carolina, there's literally nothing else I can do, and I'm working for this guy who owns a janitorial service, and I call these people up, and nobody wants to buy this service. And the guy's going, well, just get names of decision makers. And so I create this huge database where I just get the office person's name, the office manager, and the office manager's like, I don't want to give you my last name. I'm like, just give me your last name. I need it for the database. Are you going to call? Are you? Oh, no. Of course, I'm going to call. It's ridiculous. I did that, and I did insurance. I called for an insurance company for a while, and for a week, I did something for an insane group who actually wanted to sell ad space at the airport and at the Chamber of Commerce. Nobody needs that because it's the internet. We have the internet now. So I'm actually amazed that we still have telemarketing. And I'm very amused by these. There's a thing called Jolly Roger where it's like a bot, and if you call your telemarketer, it'll engage you with a fake robot talking to you, and then you end up spending like an hour on there. And it's a great way to get back to telemarketers. A lot of people are doing that now. And so on one hand, I'm a phone jockey. On the other hand, I sympathize. And so, what are you going to do? I just wish I could find something else to do. I think the worst thing I ever did as a telemarketer was when I sold theater subscriptions. Some poor woman bought her grandson a ticket to some play when he was in town, and then I call her the next year and I read off these obscene plays that the theater ticket is having because, of course, she made a mistake of buying the theater ticket with her credit card. So I'm calling her to provide this service. And, oh, it was so awful because all the plays in DC are obscene. Oh, well, a word from the nerd.